Good evening. I just wanted to pop on real quick for a quickie doodle tonight. Promise it won't be long. I just wanted to discuss briefly our weekend card, which is tidy up, clarity and organization. And so I think that obviously this card talks about getting your household organized and declutter projects and knocking out those things to-do lists. That's also a really good thing to do this week because we had our new moon. So on the new moon and the full moon, it's always a good time to do a big house clean. But I think that this has a little bit of a deeper context as well, which is a recurring theme for the year, which is exploring the subconscious and decluttering our subconscious of the kind of faulty or dated or glitchy software that's running the show that's really not in authentic alignment with us or our true desires or our true aims and goals anymore. So let's go into our subconscious this weekend, especially while we're doing those cleaning projects. If I can get into a physical mindless task, that's when, I just start going into a trance. It's like if I'm walking, running, driving, operating heavy machinery, it's like always those times where you're like, oh my God, should I be doing this? Like I've been gone, I've been out of body for like 10 minutes. So yeah, get into those tasks and really pay attention to what's coming up. And I would say even before you start the task, set the intention and do a little moment of silence with yourself. I would call it a prayer, but you're really talking to your own self-conscious. So it's kind of a waste to pray to yourself, I think. But just have a moment where you're like, okay, higher self, I would like for my subconscious to bring forward memories or things that are sort of lurking beneath the surface that are having a major influence on my life that no longer need to have that influence. And I want that memory to come up and I want to make the connection of where the feelings originated, where that trigger originated, like where the root comes from. And it can be something major and it can be something minor. It can be, something you witnessed at home. It can be something that you saw on TV. It just depends on, look back on your life and those galvanizing moments or experiences that might have happened in a repeat way for a period of time. It's so funny that as I'm doing the subconscious work, and I've been, I think I've done it for the last month, a little over a month now. It's so wild. Some of the things were like, oh yeah, I definitely knew that. But then some of the subconscious stuff came later, and sometimes for things that I would never have thought in a million years to connect it to. But a lot of my damage, a lot of my baggage came a little while later. And it wasn't like a lot of it was imprinted during early childhood, but don't discount those amazing teen years, those college years, lots of heartbreaks during those times. So just be open to it all coming up. And usually when we stop paying attention, that's when it kind of comes up and taps us on the shoulder. But yeah, I think that the subconscious work is going to be a reoccurring theme for the year because it kept showing up in the 2022 yearly predictions when we did the month by month forecast and the overall, reading for the year. Also the sacral chakra kept coming up, and the sacral chakra, which is around your stomach and your your lower abdomen, where your for the women, we have our ovaries and I'm like, I'm so tired. I'm like, what parts of our body do we have? We have a fallopian tube, we have a womb, we have a uterus. But yeah, so the sacral chakra is like this area where these sexual organs are. It's also associated with the element of water, which water also symbolizes the subconscious realm. And the emotional realm. So all of those themes are so interconnected. And it just so happens that in your sacral chakra, that is the area of the body where you store shame. Well, if you don't know this, over the last week, we've had repeat the repeats of the same card coming out in a couple of different readings of this issue is tied to shame. So we've been able to narrow down what we're looking for in our subconscious. We at least know that what is affecting us the most right now is something that is in our subconscious that is tied to specifically shame. So while we're organizing, while we're cleaning, you're also thinking, oh, I'm cleaning my intrinsic realm as well. My interior is going to match my exterior. Practical note, tidy and clean the house. It's also a good time to, if you have like, I know for me, I'll always have like a bunch of little side projects piling up, like little jewelry fixes and just things like that, like the stuff I want to sew or like repair or like things around the house. So it's a great time to just knock out all of that stuff too. You know, somebody, I don't know who said this, one of them rich people, Tesla guy, what's his face? Elon Musk. He was like, if you give yourself 3 months to finish something, it'll take you 3 months. If you give yourself 3 hours, it'll take you 3 hours. So you probably knock down a lot of that like miscellaneous crap you have to do in a pretty short amount of time. But, you know, do it leisurely so you can do all your self-help while you're doing it. And one last note that I had thought about that goes with this card over the weekend. So we're starting this new cycle, and I think that a lot of us are probably implementing, or we will benefit, it would behoove us to sort of like implement a new daily routine or like a new kind of schedule for yourself. I know for me personally, when I have my day planner, I love to schedule out my day the night before, and it really gives me some structure. Especially because like I'm such a dreamer that half the time that I waste is just me like spinning my wheels thinking, oh, I'm about to do this next activity, and 10 minutes later I'm like still in a trance, like channeling something, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was supposed to start the thing. So we are fresh starting, and I know a lot of us have been in this like weird little void period for a few weeks, and that's what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to rest, recalibrate, and sort of like level out. Well, now that we're level and we see how our new, maybe you change jobs, or maybe you have different things that are coming up in your life now, and your schedule is going to have to like change a little bit. So now would be a good time to figure out what your ideal day how it would play out. All those like regular daily things that you have to do, figure out where you want to stick them. Maybe things that you used to do every day you've gotten rid of, so you have new little gaps in your day. So I think this is a good time to figure out a new daily routine for yourself and kind of like map out a little ideal schedule. And it's like I like to set that out for myself, but I don't like to be extremely rigid. I like to give myself a little bit of freedom, a little bit of mercy, but not too much, because I need to be strict on myself to get things done. Because like I said, I'll be lollygagging, just like circling the runway of the living room, like, what was I gonna do? I was like, oh yeah, just take me 10 minutes to light an incense and like get my writing area set up. So yeah. I hope I wasn't insane, like in a bad way. I think that that's all I would like to talk about tonight. Tidy house, organization and clarity. Get rid of all that clutter, because it'll move the stagnant energy. Like, you don't want your energy stagnant in your own aura, but you also don't want your energy stagnant in the house. So when you clean, when you declutter, it gets the energy moving again. And I will say this, I read in a magical almanac, Llewellyn's magical almanac, specifically, that magic doing folk tend to stir up more dust. And I believe that to be true, because I have like more dust than I've ever seen in anyone's house ever. And I clean, like, I dust like once a week, and I try to like really get, all the dust. And it's still like in some places it's like crazy thick dust like by the next week. So I don't know. And it's good not to leave all of that extra chaos around, because it's basically the leftover refuse of what didn't get used, or whatever was stirred up and left over, it's all settled. So get rid of your magic refuse. yeah, get a little schedule going for yourself and start getting in that groove again. We've had a period of rest, and now we've been having some messages this week that we need to get motivated and get going. And Aries season is around the corner, and that's when the like the lunar year starts over, and like the astrological signs start over again. So it's kind of like another new year. So if you didn't have a good 2022 literal new year and you feel like January I don't feel like I'm really in the year yet, you might by the time Aries season comes around, which is a few weeks from now in March. So ta-ta, bonsoir.